Well, hello, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm keeping it close to the vest, Sweet Home Alabama style, and I'm making what I'm going to call Sweet Home Alabama white barbecue sauce. You may have heard of this. I do believe that this sauce put Alabama on the map. If you haven't heard of it, let me just tell you a little bit about it. This was developed by a man they called Big Bob Gibbons, and he had a barbecue joint up in North Alabama, and he created this sauce to give his customers a little bit of a variety rather than constantly the red traditional barbecue sauce. And when you taste this, you're going to see why it is now famous. Listen, as I'm talking about it, my mouth is watering. I can hardly wait. Now I'm making chicken wings. It's Super Bowl time, and to me, there's nothing more traditional during a football game than hot wings. Although I'm not frying them, I'm making these wings in the oven, and they're super easy, and I just can't wait to show you. Now I've already cut up the bulk of my chicken wings, and I've got them sitting in this bowl on a paper towel. It's super important to keep these wings dry. If you have a wet wing, you're going to have a soggy skin, and we don't want any soggy skin in our chicken wings. I left one out so that I can show you how to separate it if you're not familiar with that. I have these handy dandy chicken shears that my cousin gave me, and I will tell you, I can't believe that I've gone almost 58 years without using these. This makes life so simple, small investment, well worth it in cutting poultry or any other type of bone. It is amazing how good these work. If you don't have them, use your kitchen shears or a really good sharp knife. Now, we do not need this tip, so this is coming right off. Just kind of find where that joint goes together, and off it goes. And now we're going to separate this wing, and I'm just going to cut right through the middle. See, aren't these things absolutely wonderful? I just love them. Now, I don't want to cross-contaminate, so I am going to go get rid of this and clean this up, and I'll be right back. Now, let's get started on these wings. I'm going to remove this paper towel and just pat it. Make sure that all of that moisture is gone. Listen, I'll tell you a little secret. To get the crispy skin, restaurants will use a blow dryer. No joke. Well, I'm not going to pull the blow dryer out today, but I am going to show you another little trick on getting that crispy skin without frying it. First, I'm going to take some melted butter. Now, for this bowl, I've got 2 tablespoons. Butter is traditionally used in hot wing sauce, and we're not adding it to our Alabama white sauce, so I thought, well, let's just add it to the chicken as it cooks. What's better than butter? Now, this is another restaurant secret, and it's one that I absolutely love. When you're cooking a protein such as chicken, beef, pork, this is baking soda. This is going to help this skin get the most beautiful brown color, and it's going to crisp it up. Now, I'm not adding much. Got my spoon, and I would say that's a good teaspoon. This really doesn't have flavor. It's not going to add flavor. You're not going to taste it in your chicken, but believe me, it is going to make a difference in the way that this cooks up. Now, I told you I'm keeping it close to the vest today, so I have some Dixie dirt. Listen, Miss Brenda Gant introduced this to me. If you have not watched her videos, which I can't imagine that you haven't because she is a phenomenon right now, she put this stuff on the map. I get it at my Piggly Wiggly. I love shopping at the Piggly Wiggly. But if you can't get Dixie Dirt, then use a Lowry seasoned salt or a Tony Chachere's, just whatever it is you like, or make up your own. But listen, you can order this stuff online, and I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's the best that I have ever used. Now, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of this. This is basically to taste, and it has everything that I want in it right here. It smells so good. Oh, that smells good. Now, I have got, going back to my old professional cooking days where we used these gloves. Listen, these gloves come in handy. And I am just getting in there. And I am gonna, you know what? Forget these gloves. It's just not working. I am just gonna get my hand, and I wanna make sure that everything gets covered. Y'all, I can't even begin to tell you how good this is. I think that that's just right. I'm not going to wash my hand because I'm going to use it again. And definitely have to wash this afterwards. This is a great way to keep your sheet tray stable. Always put a towel underneath it. So there that goes. Now you can just use your sheet tray lined with parchment paper, but I'm going for super crispy today. For me, it is all about that good old texture. So I put just a cooling rack on top of my baking sheet, and you see what I'm doing. These are going on. Y'all, these are the perfect thing to serve up as main dish, hors d'oeuvre, or just good old football tailgate and party food like we're going to be doing. Now, I am going to go ahead and put these skin side up. I want that skin to cook first. Now I have my oven preheated to 425 degrees. These are cooking right now, and I set my timer for 15 minutes. All right, now for this Alabama white sauce. I've already added the mayonnaise to the jar. I love mixing sauces in a mason jar. It's the greatest thing. Number one, they have the measurements right here on the side. And number two, after you've used what you want, you can seal it off, put it in the refrigerator, and this will keep really a couple of months. The only thing that really will spoil is the mayonnaise. Now, what we're gonna add to this is some apple cider vinegar. This is gonna give it that just a sweet, I'm opening it, there we go. That sweet, tangy taste that you're looking for in a barbecue sauce. And I'm adding a half of a cup. I know that sounds like a lot, but this is not a thick sauce like maybe a dressing would be. This is a thin sauce like a barbecue sauce would be. And I'm looking at my measurements. And there we go. Just right on top. Now to add a little bit of sweetness, I'm adding honey. If you're not a fan of honey, you can use sugar. Use about a 1/4 cup. But I'm using 2 tablespoons, and that's just going right in. I'm eyeballing it. I know how I like this sauce, so if I get a little bit more in there, believe me, that is not a problem. Now, I'm adding horseradish, and a tablespoon is called for in this recipe, and that's going right in. If you're not a fan of horseradish, then you can use a Dijon mustard. What we're looking for is a little salty, a little sweet, a little bitter, a little tart. It just hits everything in your palate. And we're also adding some hot sauce. I love some Crystal hot sauce. And just add this to your liking. I'm gonna say a good teaspoon or a dash here or there. I've got some black pepper. I like the freshly ground. And I'm adding a good pinch of salt. Just right in. Now, if you like a little bit extra kick, I think just a dash of cayenne is perfect. It partners together with that hot sauce and Now last but not least, let me grab my knife. I've got a lemon. And I'm gonna squeeze about a tablespoon of lemon juice in this. Ooh, I could tell that was a juicy one. These are from off of our tree, and I love them. I'm actually spoiled. Now, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna shake this up. I love mason jars. Let's see how we did. Just get a spoon here. Oh my goodness. Y'all, that is so good. Now, if you like a little bit of a thicker sauce, just add more mayonnaise. That is just fine. Like I said, this is gonna keep, so use it on your chicken breast. It's a great sauce to add. Use it on shrimp and fish. It's delicious. And there goes my oven. These wings are about to get hot. Y'all, look at these chicken wings. Listen, if you could step into my kitchen right now, you would smell this delicious, fantastic aroma. There's just nothing better. Now, I've drizzled a little bit of this white sauce on my chicken wings as soon as they came out of the oven because I want them to absorb that sauce. And with any protein, one of the main things that you need to do, and remember, is to allow it to rest a good 5 to 10 minutes. That way, the juices have a chance to redistribute. It's important from a piece of fish all the way to a steak to just let it sit. And while this sits for just a minute, I'll tell you a little story. My husband and I were on our way to the cabin. We have a cabin that is deep in the woods of Alabama. That's all I can tell you. It's just in the woods now. We were driving and I looked out my window and I see this chicken running alongside our truck. And I looked at my husband and I said, there is a chicken running on the side of the road. And he looks out and he says, there sure is. And he looks at the speedometer and he says, well, I'm going about 60 miles an hour. How in the world is that chicken going that fast? Well, about that time, that chicken takes off in front of us and runs into a farm down the street. Well, we just could not believe our eyes. So we pulled in behind that chicken into that farm. And we see the farmer standing out there. And we got out of the car and said, you are not gonna believe what we just saw. He said, you see a chicken running about 70, 75 miles an hour? And we said, we sure did. We've never seen anything like it. He said, well, that's because I created it. We looked at each other and said, you created it. He said, yep, it's a 3-legged chicken. Okay. He says, you know, every time my wife made chicken, she had to make 2 chickens just so me, her, and my boy could have a chicken leg, and then we fought over the last leg. So I decided I'm just gonna make a 3-legged chicken. Well, I sat there and I said, well, that beats all we've ever seen. And me being the cook that I am said, well, tell me, how does it taste? And he said, I don't know, we've never been able to catch it. Well, I hope you know I am pulling your leg. So, did you enjoy that weight? Y'all, let's try one of these. Look at this. And look at this juice dripping from the chicken. Listen, that's not grease. That is chicken right there. I love, love, love baking on this way in the oven. Now let's see how we go. Y'all, there is no way that I can tell you how good this is. This is something you are gonna have to make for yourself. Listen, when you make this Sweet Home Alabama white sauce, I want you to think of me. And let me tell you, you are a blessing. I appreciate you tuning into this video. Now listen, we're about to watch the Super Bowl, but we don't have a dog in the fight. Good luck to both teams. As for me and my house, we say roll tide. Listen, blessings to you. We'll see you next time.